Welcome to The Explainer. Let's dive right in, shall we? Today, we're unpacking something absolutely crucial for any entrepreneur operating in the Commonwealth, officially registering a Doing Business As, or DBA name, in Virginia.
So, are you ready to take your business to the next level but not sure exactly where to start? Well, in today's Explainer, we'll guide you through every single step of registering a DBA name in Virginia so you can officially launch and grow your enterprise with total confidence, knowing all your legal boxes are checked.
Here's our quick playbook for today. We'll cover what a Virginia DBA actually is, the step-by-step registration process, a breakdown of the costs, some common mistakes you definitely want to avoid, post-registration steps, and finally, joining our Explainer community.
All right, Section 1, what is a Virginia DBA? Let's get into the fictitious name basics. Now, the terminology here is kind of interesting. Most of us in the business world just say DBA or trade name, right? But the Virginia State Corporation Commission officially calls this a fictitious name. Don't let that word fictitious throw you off, though. It's the exact same thing. It's simply a vital public transparency tool. It basically allows everyone, the public, financial institutions, regulatory agencies, to easily identify exactly who is behind the curtain executing commercial transactions when a storefront's name differs from the owner's legal name. And here's the thing you absolutely need to know: the stakes. This isn't just a friendly suggestion. It is a strict legal requirement. Honestly, operating under a fictitious name without fulfilling these registration requirements, that's actually classified as a misdemeanor offense under Virginia law. If you skip this step, you could be looking at statutory penalties, including criminal fines of up to $2,500, up to a year in jail, and potentially even getting your right to maintain civil actions in Virginia courts suspended. So yeah, it's a big deal. It protects consumers, and it protects you. So you might be wondering, why do different types of business owners even need a DBA? Well, think of it this way. If you're a sole proprietor, your legal business name is just your personal name by default. So if you want your storefront to say Trucker Tom's Hats instead of Tom Smith, you literally have to file a DBA. On the flip side, registered business entities like LLCs use DBAs to launch brand new product lines or open franchises, all without having to go through the massive hassle of forming entirely new companies for every single one. It's a real time saver.
Moving right along to Section 2, the registration process. Here is your step-by-step guide.
We're going to walk clearly through the three major logistical steps you need to take to lock down your name. First up, you have to conduct a name availability search to make sure no one else in Virginia is already using it. Second, you choose the right form. And third, you file that form, either electronically via the CIS portal or through the good old-fashioned mail.
Let's zoom in on step 2 for a second, because choosing the right form is absolutely crucial, and it completely depends on how your business is legally structured. If you're an individual or a sole proprietor, you're going to use Form SCC 59.1-70-N. But if you're registering this name on behalf of a registered business entity, like an LLC or a corporation, you need to grab Form SCC 59.1-70-B. Trust me, make sure you get the right one from the get-go to avoid any annoying processing delays.
So where does this form go? You'll be filing centrally with the State Corporation Commission, usually just called the SCC. Now, it's worth noting that back on January 1st, 2020, Virginia actually did us all a solid and greatly simplified this whole thing. Filings are now handled centrally through the SCC's Clerks Information System, or CIS. This completely replaced the old, kind of confusing system where you had to file locally at county circuit courts. Honestly, it is so much smoother now.
All right, on to Section 3, Costs Breakdown. Let's talk Virginia DBA fees.
Let's break down the exact costs, because nobody likes financial surprises. The standard filing fee is incredibly cheap, just $10, regardless of your entity type. If you need a certified copy, say for opening up a business bank account, that's an optional $6. Now, if you are in a massive hurry, you can opt for online expedited processing for $100. And hey, if you ever decide to close up shop or just stop using the name, filing a certificate of release is also just $10.
I really want to pause and focus on that standard $10 fee. I mean, $10. That is an unbelievably low barrier to entry to officially brand your business. But here is the absolute best part about this, and I'm super excited to share this. Virginia fictitious names literally never expire. Yep, once you pay that $10 and get approved, there are zero renewal fees. No ongoing annual maintenance for the name itself, none. It just stays active until you officially decide to release it. Pretty great, right?
Next up, Section 4, Common Mistakes. Let's make sure you avoid these pitfalls.
Let's systematically talk through some of the traps that routinely catch out new business owners. First up, never, ever assume that an SEC filing grants you federal trademark protection. It absolutely doesn't. You still have to check the USPTO database to make sure you aren't accidentally infringing on some national brand. Second, and this is a massive warning for you sole proprietors out there, do not illegally stick LLC or Inc. at the end of your new DBA. If you aren't officially a registered LLC, you cannot use that designator, period. And finally, steer clear of restricted words like architecture or engineering unless you actually have the explicit, proper governmental and professional board approvals to offer those highly specialized services.
And that brings us to perhaps the single biggest misconception of all. Listen closely. A DBA is strictly an alias. It does not create a separate legal entity, and it absolutely does not shield your personal assets from commercial liability. Let's say you operate as a sole proprietor with a DBA. Well, your personal bank account is still totally on the line if the business gets sued. Ensuring you understand the real limits of this filing is absolutely critical to managing your risk.
Okay, Section 5, Post-Registration. Let's look at your next steps and some handy resources. To give you a clear picture of how local compliance works in the real world, consider a typical local business license application, like one from Salem City. You'll notice that local business licenses often require you to actually prove you have your SEC registration receipt first, right before you can legally operate in their jurisdiction. So basically, you can't just get the DBA and call it a day. You have to take that newly approved name and use it to secure your local operational licenses. It's an essential chain reaction.
To that end, I really want to highlight these specific agencies as your ultimate go-to resources. Obviously, you have the SEC for securing the name itself, but right after that, you'll need to interact with the Virginia Department of Taxation for state taxes, your local finance departments for zoning and licensing, and of course, the IRS for federal tax compliance. These are your essential stops for setting up your banking, getting your tax accounts in order, and ensuring local compliance under your brand new trade name.
And finally, Section 6, the explainer community. Let's join the conversation.
Before we wrap up, I do need to read this professional disclaimer for you clearly and carefully. The information provided in this explainer does not constitute legal advice and is for educational purposes only. Always consult with a qualified attorney or professional advisor to ensure compliance with local laws and regulations. Honestly, it is so incredibly important to build your business on a rock-solid legal foundation with professional help that is tailored exactly to your specific situation. So with all that said, I want to turn it over to you. What unique name will you choose to take your Virginia business to the next level? Get creative, and please share your experiences or questions about the DBA registration process in the comments below so we can keep building this awesome community of focused learners. If you found this deep dive helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more detailed business explainers. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me today, and I will see you in the next explainer.